Sometimes getting too wrapped up in your own community can actually be a bad thing. And when it comes to the Smash speculation community, this is a problem that I feel like has been consistent even before Smash 4 ever came out. Was that people like to get on a big group together. They like to get everyone together and all decide what characters make the most sense for whatever nonsense reasons. And now the sad thing is that we decide sometimes to say, okay, let's throw away all their fan rules, the fan created rules, and make up our own new rules. And it happens every so often, like here or there, and then like something will just kind of emerge and a character will get really latched onto. Now, right now, the characters that seems to be the people like right now are Professor Layton and Ace Attorney, like aka Pheonix Wright. Now I'm pretty sure on the DS or 3DS, maybe it was the DS, there was a crossover game between Professor Layton and Ace Attorney, which is kind of funny because what I'm trying to get at here is that it seems like people might be being a little bit biased with what decisions and what picks they're picking for their characters. Now, me personally, I love classic retro video games far more than I would. I basically I had Game Boy Advance and PSP, but I'm not like a super. I didn't grow up with a DS or anything, right? In fact, when I got one, I couldn't really care much about Ace Attorney. I learned some things about Ace Attorney, and I thought, hey, this is a really cool, respectable franchise. But sometimes you guys gotta throw in the towel here when it comes to characters like Pheonix Wright. Now, could Pheonix Wright be a playable character? I mean, I'm sure there could be a way to make him a fun playable character, but who in their right mind would choose Pheonix Wright over so many other Capcom characters? That is baffling to me. And the idea, like, I really think one guy just sort of said, I want Pheonix Wright, and I think he could be possible. And now everyone seems to say, yeah, it's possible, and we all like him. But just because it's popular with like you guys, popular with this community, doesn't mean it's actually popular with the mainstream culture of games. So what I want to do is talk about the games I like. Again, I like the retro games, right? So when I think of retro games and like games that could be represented in Smash that aren't yet, because Castlevania was the big one. Now that it's in Smash, well, we still have another game from Konami. We have Contra, and we also have a game by Data East, Double Dragons. Now, I'm not even sure who owns Double Dragons anymore. Seems like Double Dragons and River City Ransom are getting a lots of like they always get like new indie games nowadays, and I mean they're all great and fine and all, and I'm sure Nintendo could easily get the rights to do whatever they wanted with these characters, right? But um, Double Dragon. Imagine if Double Dragon was in the game, right? Sometimes I see them on those tier lists I make with the DLC characters, right? Billy and Jimmy Lee. Now, how would those guys play as a fighter? Well, I could easily come up with a crazy moveset, but what if we're trying to be accurate to their game, but also what their game represents, right? I would want Billy and Jimmy to be on screen at the same time, kind of like the Ice Climbers. He plays both of them. And that's when this starts to fall apart. Like, they'd basically just be guys who can punch and kick and jump, and there'd be two of them, and it's really not that exciting anymore. Might be better off being an assist trophy, which is kind of how I also feel about Pheonix Wright and Professor Layton and Arle from Puyo Puyo. I don't know. One guy one day randomly said Arale from Puyo Puyo will be playable. And everyone's really latched on to Puyo Puyo for some reason. I'm here to say that that idea is completely ridiculous. And I'm just kind of here to be a reminder of logic to the speculation community at this point, because I'm extremely disappointed with how many people are allowing this to slide. I think it's because we're trying to be nice to each other and say, oh, this is a fun idea, this is a fun idea. Fun idea as it may be, the practicality of it is that's where it starts to blow my mind. Making such a stretch to have a moveset for such a wacky, stupid character. And I mean, at this point, that's really what it is. Like, this point, this is like another Duck Hunt character or another, Piranha Plant. You guys just want someone who's just completely wacky and out of nowhere. And the idea that the mainstream majority of gamers or like the gaming community, or even people who just play video games every so often, people who play Smash are gonna care about her or want her at all, that's just completely ridiculous. Like, no one is talking about her or caring about her outside of the Smash community. I feel like more people talk about this character than people who actually play Puyo Puyo. Like, it's just not necessary to represent this franchise at all in Smash, and it's not. I just don't know where this comes from. When there's, and this is how I feel about so many other characters that are popular in the speculation community. And so what I want to say here is, like, if you're guys are picking characters who are very minor, a lot of you guys also really like Isaac. Isaac to me was always going to be either not in the game at all. I didn't even think he was going to be an assist trophy. I thought he was done. I thought his goose was cooked. I was surprised he even came back as an assist trophy. And that's kind of like, some of you guys tend to latch on to characters who don't have much further potential. And I know it's because you guys like the characters. But sometimes you guys have to take a step back and look at things in the grand scheme of things. I know you guys can say, okay, but these games did well. They were, Golden Sun had really, really good reviews across the board. They were popular. They weren't like games that didn't sell. These were games that did well in the Game Boy Advance. But I just feel like if Golden Sun was going to be in Smash, it probably would have been in Smash back in the Brawl days. Because we're getting to the point where, people don't know what Golden Sun is anymore. No one really cares about Golden Sun anymore. And that's going to be how things are for, some certain characters in games, right? So to get back to the Ace Attorney thing, it really just blows my mind hearing so many bad explanations and guesses for characters that aren't based on anything. So now that this video is like 7 minutes in, I will say, I'll repeat some of my guidelines that I've said in other videos about what characters I'm looking for the fifth character, because the Game Awards is like coming fast approaching. It's next week, next Thursday. It's almost next week already. It's about, Thursday's going to be here before we know it. By the time this video goes up, it'll be 5 days from now. And the Game Awards will be here. And we're either going to have the fifth character or we're going to have nothing. But the fifth character is going to be soon. It's not going to be... I almost guarantee the fifth character will be out in January. I almost guarantee it, man. I'm like 95% sure it's going to come out in January. So the most important thing about the fifth character, as Sakurai said during the Terry reveal, is that it doesn't matter if the character is super well known, but it does matter if they'd be really fun to play. And if Terry screams this could be fun in Smash, then he should put him in Smash. And that was kind of his logic here. Now, I think Terry is well known. I think Terry makes more sense than a lot of other characters, including Pheonix Wright and including Arle from Puyo Puyo. To me, it all checks out and makes sense. And so when it comes to like what we should be looking for, we need to look for characters that make sense beyond like one weird gimmick. Like, they need to be able to be a fully fleshed out fighter without just being what I'm saying is you could easily put Arle in as an assist trophy or Pheonix Wright in as an assist trophy, because they don't really have combat in their games. They don't have like functionality where they really even move. I mean, Ace Attorney is basically a text adventure game. Like, you don't like move the character. You know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking the game, but I'm just saying it's not really well suited for Smash. And also, I mean, Capcom again has all these other IPs. Ace Attorney, it seems like if Capcom was making their own game similar to Marvel vs. Capcom, but it was only Capcom characters, seems like Pheonix Wright would be a good choice for a playable character. I mean, that's why we have characters like Isabelle and Duck Hunt Dog and other weird, wacky characters you wouldn't probably see. If this was a Nintendo versus game, some of those characters might not even appear in the game, because you would want to pick characters that make sense for a fighting game. But because this is a Nintendo game that represents mostly Nintendo characters, now with third party added on, you're going to see a lot of Nintendo characters who wouldn't normally have a moveset that would fit this playstyle. Basically what I'm saying is like, Soul Calibur 2, they picked Link for a reason. Ness was not the character they chose for Soul Calibur 2. They chose Link. There's reasons for this, right? So that's what I'm saying. Like again, like they could have put in the Black Mage from Final Fantasy. They could have put in a Chocobo or a Moogle from Final Fantasy, but they chose Cloud to be in Smash, and I mean obvious reasons why. Okay, and that's kind of the line of thinking we're gonna need to start using here. Some of you guys are like, "Oh, that'd be cute. That'd be cute. Maybe for a Nintendo character, but this is like a third party, you putting forward like a thing they want to represent." So it doesn't quite make as much sense to. I don't know why people are latching onto a Raleigh so much. I have no earthly idea how people really think that's a sensible and logical explanation. That makes no sense, especially for my next piece. I know I just said what matters more is their gameplay and functionality. That's what matters the most, right? But something to consider is that this is being planned to being revealed at the Game Awards. Now, I'm not saying that every character has to be popular. I'm not saying that at all, because Terry and Hero really weren't that popular, especially not in the West. But the way that they were announced didn't require them to be popular. You see, Hero was announced the very beginning of E3, and basically it was almost a way to throw people off before the bigger reveal that Banjo was coming. Hero was bait to throw people off the tracks and off the trail of Banjo. Terry's reveal was at the end of the Banjo reveal. People didn't even know Banjo was coming out that day, and they said not only did they reveal Terry that day, but they also said there's going to be more characters, and then they also said Sans is now a costume. So basically, Terry wasn't really treated like a big deal, because he's not really. But does he deserve to be in the game? Yes. But what I'm saying here is that they are showing particular characters at the certain times for a reason. For example, Sakurai also said that he didn't have Joker like really ready to be presented as the next character, but Nintendo asked him if they could get a video up and going to reveal to people that Joker is going to be in the game as the first DLC. And so Sakurai obliged. And then he had to get Joker out and ready before basically, everyone else, just to have the game ready. So they did. And yeah, they had Joker announced at the Game Awards. They could have announced Terry at the Game Awards, because they could have announced, Hero at the Game Awards, but they didn't. They chose Joker. So if this character is not revealed at the Game Awards, if next week comes and they're not revealed at the Game Awards, then you can scratch this off your list of what character will be coming for Character 5. But I think they're going to reveal a character at the Game Awards. The timing just makes too much sense. Otherwise, it seems like they could have just revealed the character at the end of the Terry video, same like they did with Banjo. I think because they didn't, it's more likely it'll be revealed at the Game Awards. If it's not revealed at the Game Awards, then I'm sorry for misleading people, but to me, it just seems more likely that way. And I'm not trying to hype people up so they keep watching my videos. I'm always just trying to, tell the honest truth and try to find the most. If I wanted people to like my videos, I'd be agreeing with everyone right now and saying, oh yeah, Pheonix Wright's probably going to be the next character. And instead I'm saying he probably has zero chance, because I'm trying to be as logical as possible. And so I just think it actually does make sense for the next character to be revealed at the Game Awards. Just like I said, and a lot of people did say too, that there'll probably be 2 characters revealed at E3, and we were right. It just kind of made sense. It just kind of like, if you were in that position, you'd probably do it that way. And so in my opinion, I think I'd probably just do it that way too, where we'll just have a character being revealed at the Game Awards. And then finally, the most important thing to consider, almost more important than any other factor about the 5th character, is a pattern that I've noticed. I'm sure a lot of you guys have noticed it too. The 5th character will most likely have some sort of weird video game gimmick. Now, I didn't quite think this at first when I was originally coming up with character speculation ideas, but after Banjo, it became clear as day that when I was speculating how Terry's moves would be, he would most likely have his super attacks incorporated in his moveset some way outside of the final Smash. Because if he didn't have that, then he really wouldn't have much of a gimmick outside of being the same gimmick that Ryu has, where he always faces his opponent and has command inputs. Almost everyone assumed he would be like that. He would fight the same as Ryu. But what we didn't assume was that he was going to have a go functionality. Now, it's cool because a lot of fighting games will have this desperation attack, and including the old games. I'm pretty sure the old Fatal Furies had this desperation style attack, and Terry has it here in Smash. I was thinking it maybe be more of like a super meter, but I kind of like what they did anyway, and it kind of gets crazy. Like when you can take like you can get to like 100 damage and take a stock when it was like even percents, and then you can take the whole next stock because if they touch you, you can just like fuck them up so badly. And you can really punish people hard with Terry. So yeah. But what I'm saying here is that Terry has that little gimmick, the go gimmick. Banjo has his gimmick with the side B Wonder Wing. Hero has the most gimmicky gimmick of all because he has two gimmicks. He has MP bar and he has the down B drop menu. And then of course with Joker, we have the fact that he gets super powered up with his gimmick, right? Now, that's what I love about these characters is that they're all very unique. Thanks to these gimmicks, Smash can kind of just do this sometimes. They just decide some characters just get special treatment. I think I first noticed this in, I think Pokemon Trainer and Brawl was like kind of crazy. Like they would just like take damage over time, and then you could change out the character. Like basically, like the longer you had the character out, they would get more fatigued, and you were forced to change them. I was like, oh, that's a weird like special thing that's only for Pokemon Trainer. And then like they took that out in Ultimate, thank God. But you know, certain characters have those like weird little quirks. Like Bowser, for some reason, has the ability to like not get hit with rapid jab attacks. Like if you just do like a rapid jab combo, Bowser can like react out of it and just punch you. Like there's weird shit like that. And of course in Smash 4, Little Mac had the go like KO meter bar where he gets his super punch. Like he just gets that. Like they just give it to Little Mac. And then Smash started doing that in Smash 4 as well. Like Ryu got the command inputs, Cloud got the super like the limit meter, and then Bayonetta got Witch Time and the ability to do combos in air, like, and not only can she do combos in air and Witch Time, but she can also do side B to up B to side B. So like they just kind of like went all out. Like certain characters can just be really gimmicky and weird, and the DLC so far has been no exception. I would be very shocked if the fifth character was just a normal character that didn't have some sort of weird DLC gimmick bullshit. And so that's why when I lean towards like Travis Touchdown, for example, look, I don't know if Travis Touchdown will actually be the pick. That's just my best guess, going off of the fact that I'm going to entertain the idea that a lot of the characters who are being deconfirmed are actually deconfirmed, because in my actual honest opinion, I do think some of them are kind of far-fetched. A lot of the characters who've been deconfirmed, I think a lot of them really wouldn't be that great of a choice anyway. And Travis Touchdown could be really cool. He hasn't been deconfirmed yet. So, I mean, I keep trying to tell these people, like, can someone get Travis deconfirmed so I know? Like, but he hasn't been deconfirmed yet. And he could have a gimmick. He could be a big hype reveal for the Game Awards. And he could also play really, really nicely. Now, some people might say, okay, but it's another anime sword character. Just go with me on this one, please. He might be really cool and really fun to play. I don't care if he has a sword, man. You know, as long as he plays unique to himself, as long as he plays different for himself, then it won't matter. As long as he brings something to the table that the other sword users don't. And I think he could end up being a really good character. But another thing to understand about these characters is that almost all these characters are going to play similar to another. I think Joker plays similar to Sheik. I think Hero plays similar to Link. I think Banjo plays similar to... He's kind of more unique, but, you know, he does play kind of similar to Mario in some ways. I'm not just talking about the Ford B, because it's Mario spikes, his doesn't. But like, he's also Banjo's got a little bit from here and there from a lot of different characters. He's got like Charizard's side B. He's got like Ivysaur's neutral air for some reason. He's got like these nice projectile moves. He's got two different. He's got like a bomb like Link. His down B is like a bomb. Like certain like he's kind of like a hybrid of different characters. He's kind of more unique than other characters, which is why I really wanted him in Smash compared to like Crash Bandicoot, for example, because Crash Bandicoot I don't think would be that unique move style wise, whereas Banjo to me seemed like he was perfect to be in Smash. And then yeah, even Terry. I mean, do I even have to say who he plays like? He's kind of similar to the two characters from Street Fighter. Like almost every character is going to be similar to another character. That's just how it is in Smash. And I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing, but I mean, a lot of characters who've been added in play kind of similar to another. So to me, the idea of complaining about a sword character, it's like, it's such a silly complaint, because it's like they all just play like someone else, unless you really get someone super unique like Banjo-Kazooie. They're going to play similar to someone else. And even if they play super unique, again, like Prada Plant or Duck Hunt Dog or something like that, they're not going to really be super beloved fan favorite characters. Again, like, no, I mean, yeah, I know Duck Hunt Dog does do well in some tournaments sometimes, but like, which of your friends at a party is going to really bust out Duck Hunt Dog, So it doesn't really matter if they're that unique sometimes, Another thing is a lot of DLC won't even show up in tournament that often. Like, of course, Joker will, but people have already been dropping Banjo despite the fact that I think he's like one of the best characters in the game. People drop DLC. Like, no one really used Hero. We're all afraid of Hero. We're all like talking about banning him and stuff. People don't even use him really, And then some people do in some tournaments. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like as common as other characters. And then like, yeah, people were playing Terry when he first came out, and some people who are dedicated to the grind should stick with Terry because he's actually a really good character, and that makes me happy because Terry's fucking cool, and I'm glad people are showing Terry. Like, people always do the hose mad thing, but like, people are showing Terry the amount of respect that he really deserves, despite the fact that no one really knew who he was. I'm glad they know who he is now, motherfucker. Like, I'm fucking happy about Terry, man. He turned out great. So, who will this last character be? I don't know, but I can tell you who it's not going to be. Like, and I know like we've been deconfirming characters, but you can basically deconfirm any character. First of all, from Capcom, I really think Capcom's out of it. If Dante's deconfirmed and Resident Evil already has spirits in the game, also with Proto Man and Zero having Mii fighters in the game, like, I know that's not like the most concrete way to deconfirm someone. Even the spirits thing is not really a concrete way to deconfirm, but like, there's a lot of Capcom shit, man. It's kind of like getting ridiculous. Like, we have Capcom Mii fighters. We have we have Rathalos in the game from Capcom, who's a boss fight and an assist trophy. Then we have all the characters from Street Fighter and Mega Man. Yeah, it's like, and then there's like a whole. I mean, I don't know, man. There seems to be a lot of Capcom stuff, and then not only do they have the Mii fighters, and you have the spirits now from Resident Evil. Like, I don't know, man. I think Dante is still possible, but it would probably be best for season 2 or wave 2 or whatever you want to call it. And besides that, like, the idea that Capcom would be the 5th character and it would be like Pheonix, Wright, that's just crazy to me. So I don't think so. I don't think we're gonna get Pheonix, Wright. I don't think we're gonna get, again, I think characters like that, characters who basically would be better as assist trophies, are probably not going to be DLC. And I know some people are like, I don't know, man. I guess it's a hard call. It's hard to say like what character deserves to be in the game, what character deserves to be an assist trophy. That's a tough call. Like, for example, I would say, well, I don't want to give examples, but I'll say this, okay? Like Sega, if they got another character for the next wave, because they probably won't get another, probably aren't going to get a 5th character. I think we can all agree Sega's probably out for the running because they got Joker. So if they got another character for Wave 2, would it be like, what if I just like randomly said Axel from Streets of Rage? And people were like, oh, okay, I guess they could make a moveset for Axel, but it'd be kind of boring, right? I mean, yeah, it'd be just like punching and jumping. It wouldn't be anything special. Yeah, but I like Axel. I like Streets of Rage, so why not? And it's like, Axel would probably be better as an assist trophy because he's kind of generic. You know, he's not that. He's doesn't really have too much. Like, yes, you could make a moveset for him, but you'd still have to take a lot of liberties. And you're like, yeah, you might as well just make him assist trophy at this point. You know, it's not like Sega's doing anything with Streets of Rage. So, and that's kind of how I feel about some of y'all's choices. You know, it's like, you know, even if they put in, even if they're like, okay, Sega, what about you want the guy from Golden Axe, the little dwarf guy from Golden Axe? Yeah, I mean that'd probably be better as assist trophy. Probably, I don't think that character has. Again, if it was a Sega game and Sega was making all the characters, yeah, put him in as a playable fighter. That would be dope. But as a game that's made by Nintendo with guest characters, I don't think that makes sense for a main character who's playable. You know, not with a third party guest. So, who do I think the fifth will be? I think it will be Travis Touchdown. That's my best bet. I'm not as confident as some of my other choices. I was far more confident in Joker, Hero, and Banjo. I used to be confident in a Resident Evil character. Now I'm not so sure. I did not see Terry coming at all. And I don't know where to look for this fifth character. I have no clue. Like, honestly, whoever the fifth character will be, I think a lot of people will be upset with other people being ecstatic and super happy. I think a lot of people are going to be really fucking surprised, whoever it is, because at this point, you know, I have no clue. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it's Travis Touchdown, but that I am being so skeptical of my own beliefs here. And yeah, I mean, I think Nintendo's trying to make this a really hard guess on purpose. So I have no clue. No fucking clue. But I can't wait for next week. I hope to God it's revealed because the suspense is killing me. And once we get this over with, we can start talking about Wave 2, which opens up the doors for like more characters than Wave 1 even had. And I think we're all going to be more pleased and happy. So that's it. That's all this video is. It's just me kind of saying my guidelines and also basically hating on people and their opinions, and also basically saying this Smash speculation community is kind of like walking around in circles and shoving their heads up their own butts. We need to kind of completely get away from accepting our ideas just because they're popular and we all kind of like made a silent agreement upon it, you know? I don't think that Puyo Puyo is getting a character. I think that needs to die. That just needs to die. That is not happening. And yeah, look, I'm not always right. You know, I spent a long time saying Shadow is going to be a character in Smash. Nintendo really tricked me on that one, but I have been right about a lot of other stuff, and it's all pure speculation. It's just me making educated guesses. I said the Grinch leak was probably real. It seemed real. I was wrong about that one too, but sometimes, I mean, but like I said, other times I'm right. Like I said, Shantae's not going to be in. I said Paper Mario is not going to be in because Paper Mario is just Mario. That makes no sense. I said Isaac probably won't be in. I mean, I was right about all those things. There was another one. Oh, Monster Hunter. I was been saying probably is not going to be a character because why would it be? If you want to represent Monster Hunter, you already did with Rathalos, and why would you put Rathalos in and not a character? That doesn't make any sense. So yeah, I mean, sometimes I'm right, man. Sometimes I'm wrong, but sometimes I'm right, and I think this is one of the times where I'm gonna be right. So I laid out my reasons why, and all you guys can do is leave me dislikes and say I'm wrong because you like Sora and you like Puyo Puyo. I know I like Sora and Puyo Puyo too. I literally play Puyo Puyo versus Tetris, and I like it. I literally still force my friends to play it when they come over, but I can look past my own bias and make an honest and educated guess and judgment opinion call thingy in order to get my character, I figure out the right character. I'm not even making sense anymore. So yeah, I hope you guys can try to use rational judgment for speculating the fifth character. But well, let's just wait and see. And honestly, I think a lot of you guys, the reason why you're spinning in circles and you're confused is because so many characters are being deconfirmed by Sabi that we're kind of running out of ideas for who we think it is. Some people have been saying Sora hasn't been deconfirmed yet. Sora hasn't been deconfirmed yet, and then Sora's been deconfirmed, and it's like, of course it wasn't going to be Sora. Like, you crazy? Again, I made a bunch of videos saying like Sora has a chance, and it's not as crazy as you think. It's not that outlandish. It's really not. It's really not. But I just think he still falls into a little bit of a gray area. It's not because he's owned by Disney, but it's because he's been bathed in Disney. His game is about Disney. You can say, oh, it's about anime OCs now. It is. You're not wrong. Problem is that the first two games were bathed in Disney stuff. And you can't really wash that out. Even with Kingdom Hearts 3 barely containing Disney stuff in the story, you still go to Disney movies for Worlds, man. It's still Disney. So, I mean, not looking good for Sora. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, but I'm just merely here to, like I said, put you guys on the right path. So hopefully you take my advice and you put it to good use. I'm gonna end this video here because I'm getting rambly. It's 2 a.m, and I will see you guys on the next one.